Nothing But the Words, special 3-part series, What Successful Authors Know, episode number 99, Who's in Your Corner?
Welcome to Nothing But the Words, the podcast that gives you everything you need to know to write a phenomenal book. Now here's your host, your author coach, Candace L. Davis.
Hey there, and welcome to Nothing But the Words. I'm your author coach, Candace L. Davis, and this is the third and final episode in our 3-part series, What Successful Authors Know. I hope your week and your writing are both going well, and I hope the series has been helpful and inspiring for you. So this is it, the final episode in the series, and I created this series in celebration of the launch of my new group coaching program for nonfiction authors, Authors Ignited. You can check it out at authorsignited.com. In the first episode, I shared the importance of frameworks and how authors use them to make writing so much easier and frankly, so much more fun. Frameworks can actually unleash your creativity. In the second episode, I talked about the importance of raising the standard for your book and committing to that work, that it does require effort to produce something you can be proud to put your name on. And I still firmly believe and will leave this earth believing that any book worth writing is worth writing well. And in this episode, I want to talk about the importance of community in writing your book. Keep in mind that I am a true introvert. I don't avoid people on GP most of the time, but I can go a really long time without talking to anyone, and I can be perfectly fine. I love coaching my clients. I'm typically on a high, actually, when I'm done with a coaching call. I find that really energizing. But when I come down from that high, I do need time alone to recharge. A lot of people think of introverts as shy, and as a small child, I was shy, but I'm not really shy anymore. Some introverts are, but the definition I embrace is a person who's energized by solitude, as opposed to the extrovert who feels supercharged by engaging with other people. So that being said, little old introvert me would have preferred to write in a total silo. I'm not even kidding. I would have been just fine being that person who walks off into a little cabin behind their house every day and sits out there and just writes and writes and writes. When I first started writing, I was homeschooling my kids, and while they went to lots of activities and had tons of kids to hang out with on the cul-de-sac, I was perfectly fine chilling at home by myself. I loved being with my family, but we had lots of time in our so-called school day when we were all doing our own thing in relative silence. It was quite glorious, actually, to have so much quiet time, and it allowed room for all of us to indulge our creativity. But after I joined my first writer's workshop, run by Barbara DeMarco Barrett, she is the host of a great radio program called Writers on Writing and the author of a great writing book, Pen on Fire, I discovered the value of having a writing community. One of the blessings of this experience was that most of the writers, at least half of the writers in the group, were just as introverted as I am. So they didn't put many extra demands on my energy. What this group and other groups I later joined did for me was to provide me a place where people understood what I was attempting to do. They were on the same journey I was on. Of course, we had our leader, and that was fantastic. She gave us a lot of guidance and instruction along the way, and she certainly gave us really strong feedback. But the group also gave me a certain amount of accountability because we had to bring work to read in workshop every 2 weeks, I believe we met. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to show up having not done my homework. I haven't done that since, I think, 10th grade Spanish class, when I got into an argument with Senor West because I didn't have my homework. This group gave me a source of inspiration because I could watch my colleagues working through the obstacles they encountered while they were writing those books, obstacles including anything from making time to write because they had obligations at home and most of us had day jobs, or just the challenges they ran into on the page as they were trying to write their books. My colleagues gave me feedback, of course, and they also gave me access to resources I wouldn't have been able to access on my own. What it boiled down to was a community that supported me in my writing goals. Successful authors understand the value of this community. Now, they may have just one reliable person they turn to for support, or a whole group as I did. So how can you get this kind of community for your writing life? You can do it in any number of ways. There's no one right way to find the community you need as a writer. You have to find the way that works best for you. One of the simplest, and I've done this many times over the years. I don't currently do this, but I have done it, and I will probably do it again. One of the simplest ways to create a little writing community for yourself is to partner with a friend who's also writing a book. It helps if you're both in the writing process at the same time. Then you can keep each other accountable with the weekly progress updates. You can do those by text message or DM or phone call or Zoom call or meeting for coffee. There's no right or wrong way. The whole point is just to really keep each other accountable and on track. And if you can choose someone who will really kind of give you a little push when you fall off track, not necessarily the person who will be like, well, it's okay, don't worry about it every single time, but the person who will challenge you a little bit to get back to it and remind you of why you're writing this book and how much it means to you, that is a real win. You could also meet once a week with this person or a different person for a writing date. Writing dates can be done online, on Zoom, or in person. Now, of course, it's fun if that person's in your neighborhood and you can meet for a lovely lunch or a coffee date and sit outside in the sunshine and type away, right? That's fantastic. But these days, we're all spread out. And who knows where we might be with COVID restrictions or any other kinds of travel restrictions. So meeting online is a great option. And it might be a little weird at first as you're setting up your routine where, okay, set the timer, we're going into quiet time and writing, and one person will have their timer on. Very simple, and it can be really inspiring to have someone there who's actually writing when you are. It can keep your writing moving. And you're not going to show up and do nothing in those situations. At the end of those sessions, you might want to read a page or two of your work to each other and just get some feedback. Now, this is rough draft work, so you have to be kind in this feedback, right? You've just written it. But it's a good way to begin to talk it out loud and to really understand if you're going in the right direction with your work. Or you can join a writer's workshop in your neighborhood. These exist all over the place. You can often find them on sites like Meetup or even at your local library. Your library may have a writers group that meets there where they're welcoming new members. Now, in this situation, you don't know the people, right? So it might take a few tries to find the right fit for you, but the right fit is out there. And if you can't find it, you could always create your own group. Let's be honest, you could pull together 3 or 4 writers if you all have the same level of commitment, because you need people who are going to continue to show up. And the big part of that writers group is that you show up, you read your work to each other, and you get feedback, but you also help each other stay on track and keep the momentum going. The value of a bigger group, of course, being if one person has to fall out, the group can still continue. You can join a group coaching program like mine, Authors Ignited, where my clients, you guys, I am so proud of the way my clients show up. They show up and support each other in their goals. They're on the group coaching calls, really applauding each other's wins, celebrating each other's wins, helping each other when there are some obstacles in the way, and holding each other gently accountable. They share compassionate feedback with each other. So who is in your corner right now? Find a space where you can show up and know that it's safe to say, I haven't written in 2 weeks, and ask for help. Become a part of a community, even if it's only a community of 2, where you can trust the members to give you feedback that's intended to help, not to hurt, but it's still honest and clear. And you can trust the members to motivate you and encourage you to keep writing towards your goals. Imagine how much easier writing your book will be with that support. You will never have to stay stuck or become a long-term victim of writer's block or overwhelm, because you'll always have someone to help you get past it. You'll never have to wonder if what you're writing is any good, because you will have people there to tell you what's working oh so incredibly well and what opportunities you have for improvement. Successful authors employ frameworks in many different ways by making them their own. Successful authors raise the standard for the books they write, and they accept the work that comes with that standard. And successful authors don't try to go it alone. They have community to support them. If you don't have that type of writing community in your life right now and you want it, check out my group coaching experience, Authors Ignited, at authorsignited.com. it might be a great fit for you. And if you join by Saturday, April 9th, you will also get free access to my upcoming one-day virtual writer's retreat as a special bonus. However you find your support, get someone in your corner, someone who cares about the quality of your book as much as you do, someone who cares as much about you hitting your goals as you do, and then honor and make the most of that support. That's all for this episode and for this series. I hope you have found it helpful and inspiring. Thanks for listening to Nothing But the Words. I'm your author coach, Candace L. Davis, and I'll see you next time.